Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan, his son and the producer. Now, tonight, the title is Check Feedback. Some great things to be said about that, but first, for anyone who's out there joining us, be sure to say something in the chat so we know you're here. First time, there's no charge for readings, but going forward after that, it's $10 per card, or you can pay $100 and cover the entire month, which we do 3 shows per week, typically Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Arizona time. Now, thanks for listening to me. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Here's Christopher.
Hey, happy Monday, everybody. I have an incense that's going to burn a little bit longer tonight. Kenan ordered it, so it's a new one. But I like this incense to send prayers to you, or the answer to your prayers, to help release any trauma, to be able to come back to that soul and who you are, because the soul's core is absolute joy. So this is absolute, to bring you absolute joy, and to pay attention to the signs. I'll explain that in a minute. But here's to a joyful soul. That's the purpose of the show tonight. Just to experience this really amazing life with all of its joy and all of its very interesting things that happen to us during this life. But this is to help send you energy to release and clear trauma easily and comfortably. The body doesn't really want to store trauma as much as we don't want to unearth it. So know that you're safe to let go of trauma, because the brain's number one rule or job is to keep you safe. So if you even do this, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, it actually communicates to the brain that you're safe. Okay, these are called cross crawls. Right brain controls left side of the body, left brain controls right side of the body. This is I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. And letting the brain know that releasing the event or the trauma is simply letting go of it. It's not reliving it. So it's free of having to relive something, but to replace it with this joy, which is what the soul's purpose is, to absolutely experience this joy and wonder here in this life. So we've got this group card tonight, which is releasing. So I love the synchronicity of, we come up with the title for the show, the group card always falls out, and it has to do with purification, toxicity, letting go. And I mentioned this on the show before, that when my mom passed back in 1997, I got on the plane, and a woman, when I got on the plane, I went to look for my seat, and there was a woman sitting in my seat on the aisle. And so I was looking at my ticket, and she goes, and I didn't feel like talking. I did not want to talk. I was just kind of in a catatonic state. She goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Did I take your seat?" And I looked at the ticket, and then she looked at hers, and she goes, "Oh no, I'll get up and move." She was actually just across the aisle. I go, "You know what? If it's okay, I'll just go ahead and take your seat. That way you don't have to get up, and we don't have to move around and hold the line up of people boarding." So I sat down. If it hadn't been for that mix-up, I wouldn't have talked to this woman. So I was flying up to Idaho, to Spokane, Washington, and going over to Idaho, because my mom was in hospice and she was fading fast. And this woman turned to me and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to say goodbye to my mother." And she looked at me, she goes, "I came here to Phoenix to say goodbye to my father. What are the chances of that?" And so she got to say goodbye to him. She was there long enough to attend his memorial. And when she was talking to me, she said, I was holding his hand, and I realized he was letting go. He was letting go of family, friends, money, animals, possessions, all of it. He was letting go of all of it. And I was like, that's very profound. And so circumstances were that I was able to hold my mother's hand while she was passing. And I realized it's letting go. So I came to this realization that this whole life is all about letting go. We either have to let go of it now, or we're going to let go of it later. But I'm not talking about going out and selling your possessions and moving up to the Himalayas in a cave. But letting go of the attachment to things, but especially emotions that really don't serve us. They really don't serve us. So this is the releasing card, and it's about eradicating negativity. Maybe a way to think about it is, would I want this incident carved in my headstone? No. Would I want what that person said that's affecting me so deeply beyond my headstone? No. It's about letting go. It's purging. It's a spiritual cleanup. But it doesn't have to be traumatic. You can let go of it easily and comfortably. And when you're in this fluctuation of letting go, there can be some grief. And a lot of the grief is around oh my God, I could have had a Clamato. It's like grieving that you hung on to it so long. So once that passes, then you move into this joyful state. And it's paying attention to triggers. I told you this woman I read for this past weekend, where that earthquake occurred in Pennsylvania a couple of weeks ago, and she was extremely traumatized because she died in 1906 in the San Francisco earthquake, no doubt about it. And so she was like, she came into this life going, you know what? I'm being raised on the East Coast. No freaking earthquakes. But the trauma was still carried over from this previous life. And so and this earthquake triggered it. So she started smelling smoke. Now she did not make a connection between the earthquake and the smoke and this trouble breathing. But she'd been trapped in this building under rubble, and the building burned. So not a really pleasant way to go. So very traumatic. But it was necessary, it came up in her reading to go, this is important to clear now. And then she told me the story about not being able to breathe or smelling smoke. And she's like, her family thought she was nuts. Like, no, we don't smell smoke. There's no smoke. But that's about releasing that trauma. And so she knew she needed a reading. So you know. So call me, text me when things start coming up and you feel odd. That's usually paying attention to the signs. That something's coming up, but it's coming up to leave. It's coming up to leave. if you when I lived in China, we would get invited out a lot because there weren't really a lot of Americans. And so they would cook these like really pretty fabulous meals or really special meals. And one woman cooked sea urchin. Guys, sea urchin was really, it looks, I'm not going to even say it, but it doesn't really have any taste other than the sauce that it's cooked in, but the texture is like chewing on a piece of rubber. Anyway, I did not have a really good reaction to it. And I was embarrassed and I was kind of mortified that I literally had to. But better out than in. That's the way I looked at it. Better out than in. So we have these things come up and they can be really emotional. And the brain was like, no, you remember what happened when this happened, you almost died, or you almost, those emotions. No, this is coming up to cleanse and leave. So this is about doing it with comfort and ease. So I bless you all with that, so that your soul is cleaned up. There's more joy coming in. Fantastic. Okay. We've got a show tonight. So we've got Marilyn, John, Abby, Marilyn, Austin, and Tiffany. Oh, and Jared and Kat are here. Good. All right. And I should say, Dr. Lundeen. Okay. Tiffany's a doctor, so you all welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. All right, so Marilyn. So part of this, Marilyn, is it's trusting. So if you've been to an amusement park, if you've ridden a merry-go-round, if you've been on a roller coaster, there has to be a certain level of trust. Like even when you get into a car, right? Larry's driving, whoever's driving, cab driver, there is a certain amount of trust that you're in good hands. When you begin to explore or make forward movement with your spiritual development, it feels sometimes like you're in a roller coaster with no seatbelt. But there is. Kenan and I, when Kenan was, 13, we went to Japan. And it was the first roller coaster we rode on that didn't have like a head brace. It was just like sitting in a low back kitchen chair. That's basically what it was. Do you remember that?
Thunder Dolphin.
Huh?
Yep.
Thunder Dolphin, it was called. Thunder Dolphin. Anyway, it was very unnerving. So I know you texted me earlier just before the show about meditating with these pyramids and hearing this low drumming sound. Because the show last night, I was recommending that you meditate with pyramids. And our left brain wants to make sense of it. But there's no really sense made other than you know that it's a download that you'll be able to use later. But to a certain point, when you're in line for the roller coaster, you can get all the safety inspections and when they were made, and you can walk the entire roller coaster before you ride it. You don't do that. There's a certain amount of trust. This is about trusting the process. knowing that you're being guided. I don't know if you've thought about there's a husky coming through, a dog, not an overweight man. It's a husky. It's a dog. I don't know why. I don't know if you're thinking about getting a dog, but there's some kind of so cats are really good about keeping negative energy out. Dogs are really good about absorbing the negative energy. And there's something with a husky. I don't know why. I don't know if Larry's favorite dog is a husky or what it is with a husky, but there's something with a husky coming through. Or if you thought about getting a dog, or even something part husky. I don't know why that's important. Maybe we can look it up. Maybe I'll look it up after the show, or if you have a minute. You could look it up. The meaning of husky, if it has a certain meaning. But anyway, there's something with this, Tiffany, that is, Marilyn. Okay, what did I say, Tiffany? Okay, so Tiffany, there's something about your daughter and animals, and she's talking about her work on the other side. This is kind of beyond my scope of explanation, but she's working with animals on the other side. So I don't know what her connection with animals here was. She's saying, you've got it. You've got this. So, Tiffany, there's something. I'm going to jump to Tiffany, everyone, because this was kind of a jump from Marilyn to Tiffany, but it's like, Tiffany, you're like, huh? So, yeah, so the husky represents loyalty, strength, agility, and independence. So Marilyn, this is where this is why it's important, especially for the strength and the agility. But then Tiffany, it goes to you with your ability to communicate with animals. You may not think that you do, but you have some kind of ability with animals. And that, I think, is going to be developing. Okay, John, here we go. Reflection. when you look in the mirror, I'm going to give this suggestion to everybody. When you look in the mirror, are you looking at what is right with you, or are you looking at what is wrong with you? So let's say you're wanting to lose weight. You look at yourself and go, damn, I look good at 150, 60 pounds or 175 pounds, whatever your goal weight is. Damn, I look good at 175 pounds. God, you have great hair. Whatever it is, John, this is absolutely verbalizing it so that you're saying it, but you're also then hearing it, and you're also seeing it. The other thing too with your photography, I don't know what this is because you're the photographer, so I don't know, but it's adding a depth or reflection to the photographs. I don't know what that is. I think you know what it is. It's a specific. It's a reflection. It's a specific form of light. So when you look at this picture, it's like the moon and the effect that the moon has on the ice or snow and the lighting of it. It's very important. So they're telling me to tell you to play with that. It's almost like, I don't know when the next full moon is, but it's like going out and photographing during the full moon. All right, my dear Abby in Maryland, and we've got then Austin, Tiffany, Dr. Lundeen, Kat, Jared, Jeff, and Ashley. Ashley Nicole? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Jeff, welcome back from Cannes. Jeff just got back from the Cannes Film Festival in France. So I'm impressed that you're awake with no jet lag. All right. My dear Reverend Marilyn. All right, first of all, highly recommend skin brushing. There's something about like literally detoxing your system through the skin. Skin is the largest organ. I know you know that. But there's something with, like, I don't know, it's not necessarily a loofah, but it's some kind of like a skin brush that will help rid toxins out of your body. And then what represents change to you? And what does that change look like? And how can you depict that into your stained glass? There's something with change that is really important for you. In your ability to help people transcend. So universe, show me now how to pictorially, in a picture form or art form, depict that change, that it's safe, easy, and comfortable. And this feels like your next art project, your next stained glass, also your work in helping people make this transition, make this change. And I'm not talking about transition to the other side. I'm talking about a change in, it could be job, relationship, moving from one low vibration to another high vibration. What would that picture, and how would you picture that, and how would you convey that? So I loved what that you sent me. I showed everyone last night on the show what your stained glass looked like, and then the inspiration that you sent me yesterday on where that inspiration came from. So I was talking like with John, where his photography they're not just pictures, they're transformatory pictures. Your work, his work, every one of our works, no matter how it represents itself, Jeff is into film. Jared and Kat are doing the spa work. Dr. Ladine in her teaching. Every one of us has these gifts, and it may not be tarot, it may not be being able to see the future or whatever it is, but it is transformatory. In every one of your works, whatever it is that you're doing, it is about transforming the consciousness. And you put that blessing even before you start the piece of work. So when you're forming a company, for instance, it is an LLC or it is incorporated, right? They call it a business entity. And I've said this before on the show. Then ask the entity what it wants, how it wants to present itself to the world. And then you're working in conjunction or partnership with your piece of art, with your person, your class that you're teaching, the movie that you're making, the spa that you're building. How is it that you want to be? Okay, my dear Abby. So Abby, I highly recommend you take up singing. Start See, it could be worse, Abby. I could have said take up interpretive dance, but I didn't. There's something about singing that will help your brain open up to different levels because of the music and the words, right? We talked earlier about playing an instrument and how much that is the major activity that opens up or uses most of the brain. Singing, I'm not talking about performing. I'm not talking about starting a band like Laurel. I'm talking about just singing at least 2 or 3 times a day. So Marilyn, when Abby says something to you, make a game of this and say, Abby, repeat back to me what you just said, but this time sing it. And you can make up a melody. It doesn't have to be any melody. But there's something really important about this. There's something with the universe. It'll raise your vibration. It'll raise your... Jeff, this goes for you too. In fact, we can all try it. putting the radio on or music on and singing to the song. Start singing more every day, even if it's just talking to Marilyn. Marilyn can sing back to you. I know this sounds really bizarre, but this is absolutely what they're saying is going to help you tremendously. Okay. All right, Austin, here we go. It's okay to fall down, but you're not staying down. You're getting back up. Like a child falls, this is called the fool child. A child's not foolish, they're just simply learning, right? So it's kind of a misnomer, but this is new beginnings. It's a misnomer about a fool child, but they just don't have the learning, they just don't have the experience. So you're moving into some new experiences where you feel like you failed, but they're not really failures. It's like falling down, but then as a child you get back up. Yeah, you may have some skinned knees and some skinned hands, but that is healing, but it was vital for you to get the learning. Remembering you came here, remembering that it was a choice to come here, no matter how traumatic the birth experience was. So this is releasing that birth experience or the previous birth experience with more ease and comfort. But this is, again, you're moving into a time of rebirth, a time of looking at what is right with you rather than beating yourself up in any level, way, shape, or form as to what is wrong with you. Looking at what is right and looking at, you know what, I can take this feedback and I can learn to walk better and I can learn to walk faster, just like a little child, right? But they start out walking and stumbling and falling, and then they move into walking better and move into running. This is you getting better and better and better. Trust that. But this is energy clearing around. There's something around your birth experience and clearing around that. Okay. All right, Tiffany, Dr. Lundeen, here we go. So this is, so it's the oppression card. So as a teacher, so much of your work isn't so much about teaching something new, as it is about opening the space for people to clear away the stuff they've learned that just wasn't so. Now, when they let that stuff go, or they come into the classroom, or they come within your presence, they feel safe to sometimes let go. But they do it in what is like anger or frustration or whatever, but they feel safe to do that around you. Be free of taking that on personally. It's one of the greater parts of your teaching, or your ability to teach, or your presence actually creates kind of this spontaneous healing with people, mentally, emotionally, sometimes even physically. But it's important for them to let go of what no longer serves them. It's like setting a bone. Sometimes it causes great more pain to set the bone, but it has to be set. It's that kind of a healing where, I hope I'm making myself clear here, Tiffany. It's not taking it on personally, but it's your ability to heal. And part of your ability to heal and help others is to assist them to let go. So it's kind of like holding their hair back when they're throwing up. And so if people don't like you, that just means that there's a couple people that don't like you or care for you. It's because they're holding on. They want to hold on to their trauma or their drama or their belief system. They want to keep hold of it because you open it up for them to let go. But if they're not wanting to let go, it causes the friction. It causes drama, but it's not yours. If you need to call me, on that one, do so. All right, my dear Kat and Jared. So this isn't manipulation. This is not. It's free of manipulation, but well, it's manipulating the energy to get what you want. So there's a lot of energy that cleared around your family from that reading last night, which is really great. But there's an expression, Jared, tell me more. There's something that it's important for you to say to people, tell me more. Tell me more about that. So when they say no, sit back and set yourself up as a learner. Right? That's what this card is about, is somebody who's open to learn. And what you're really learning is the aspects of energy around how that person is behaving. It's not just what they're saying, but when you say, can you tell me more, it gives you more space to take a look at a bigger picture as to what's energetically going on around them. And then it also, when they say no, you go, okay, universe. It allows you to go, okay, universe, over here. How else is this possible? Who else can you bring into my circle to make this possible? I think I told you all the story about 3 months ago where I read for this woman and her daughter wanted to go to USC, University of Southern California. She didn't get accepted, but I had told her she was going to get accepted. And then she called me a week later and said, I didn't get in. Basically, she wanted to let me know I was wrong. I'm like, okay. And I just stepped back. It wasn't about me being right or wrong. It never is about me being right or wrong. I'm just simply telling you what I see. If we're out in the woods and I go, oh my God, do you see that rabbit over there under the bush? And you don't see the rabbit under the bush, does that make me right and you wrong? No. But if perhaps you stand there long enough, you could see the rabbit. But I'm not invested in you seeing the rabbit, because I know you've seen rabbits before. No big deal. So this is you going, okay, universe, teach me how this is going to work out. Anyway, the story is 3 months later she got accepted into USC. So you just have to kind of stand back sometimes and go, okay, I just told you what I saw. Anyway, so, all right, Kat, here we go. There are things that are going to be dropping off, Kat, that need to be dropped off. It's a trip to Goodwill. It's actually funny. I love that. I just got this aha. Getting rid of stuff that you no longer need or use or haven't used in a year. You're dropping it off at Goodwill because it's Goodwill. It's Goodwill for you. This is like, let's say work drops off, and it needs to drop off because this is the need to help narrow your focus. And anywhere where you are viewing the target is too far away, let's say you're studying archery, and the target is a little target, right? Let's say that the target's this big, and it's 500 yards away, and you have to hit it in the bullseye. How about you change the rules of the game and get a target that, I don't know, is 500 feet across and only 50 yards away. It's your game. You can view it as far-fetched, far-reaching, 500 yards away, target this big, or you can get this huge target and put it just 50 feet from you. Big difference. You control the game. This is narrowing your focus. That was really good. Thank your guides for that one. That was really good. So your focus is going to be narrowed. It's not anything you have to do. You're just going to narrow the game and change the rules in your favor. Anywhere where you have been told that you're unfair. You know how kids yell, not fair, cat did this, not fair, cat got that. Can you release the clear, destroy, and uncreate all of that and welcome the fairness and opening the field to allow more of that of changing the rules of the game. How else can you look at this? All right, Jeff, fresh back from Cannes, France Film Festival. I can't wait to hear about this. Huh, okay. Got the death card, Jeff, is all about change. Big bada boom change. Dissipation of structure, falling away. It's as dramatic as a change from death into the spirit world. This is that big of a change. Not literal death, but it is a big change in energy. So there's always this collapse, but then there's this rebirth. So the way you view things, and the letting go. Letting go is really important. It's a whole new view of how you view yourself. Even on a molecular level, Jeff, you're not absolutely the same person at all that you were 7 years ago. Every atom in your body has completely changed over. You're a completely different person. And you're moving more toward even a bigger change in understanding who you are and your impact on the planet. Okay, Ashley Nicole. I think Ashley's been on the phone on the show before.
She's in front of Teresa Lopez, actually. This is her first time.
Teresa, thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing Ashley. I appreciate your patience. All right, Ashley, here we go. First time on the show. Everybody, welcome Ashley. All right, my dear Ashley Nicole. This is bringing your power back into yourself. Anywhere where you've given power over to, where you've given power inappropriately to a man, are you willing to claim that for you? This is the a woman can be an emperor. This is you moving more into your power. And what is that word? It's like a projection that society has, especially in our society, where men are stronger, they know more, they do things, they blah, 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 blah. This is bringing your power back into you. In the next few days and weeks, you will feel your power returning more. And you being the emperor, not an empress, but a emperor. It's like coming back into balance as to really who you are. and not giving your power away needlessly. Call that power back into yourself. All right, my dear Teresa. Commencement. Boom. Next level. Next grade. New school. Kind of a new way of being. It's like you've got your sea legs, Teresa, but it's a new ship. So give yourself credit that you've got your sea legs, but this is a new ship. I don't know if you're planning on a cruise or not, but you'll get the drift. It's like kind of a new way of looking at not the old ship, but getting oriented. That's the word. Getting oriented to this new way of being and the new way of doing. And it's coming to you naturally. Just give yourself time. When you get onto a new cruise ship, it takes a while to get checked in, to find your cabin, to find the restaurants, to find the pool. If that makes sense. This is a whole new beginning for you. So there's always a little bit of a disorientation, but it's not enough to go, wait a minute, I lost my sea legs. No, you have your sea legs. You have this new, and it may be actually really beneficial for you to take a cruise. But I don't know why they're using this ship as an example. I think it's also shipping something back to someone of something you don't need or want.
So funny, she said she just got back from a cruise and she's going again in August. This Teresa Lopez.
Oh, Teresa, you just said you got back from a cruise and you're going on another one in August. Okay, so, but it's a different ship, right? That's why they're bringing this up. It's like it's what you're manifesting in the physical world is happening in the spiritual world. Okay. Yay. Lindsay popped on. All right, Lindsay, here we go. If it's Jell-O, you don't need a knife. You can dish Jell-O out with a spoon. You don't need a knife to cut it. I don't think I've ever seen. Anyway, my point of Lindsay with this is watch your words. They can be very cutting, and that's not just with you, it's with anyone. This is you really coming into power as to when to use the spoon and when to use the knife, and being free of using the knife when it's Jell-O. This is you coming to an understanding of anywhere where You ever heard the term, you can't fix stupid? It's people that have to make themselves smart. And it's pulling your energy back. And sometimes it's okay to play dumb. Sometimes it's okay to be dull. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because people use sometimes playing dumb to get your energy, and you're trying to get your point across, to be understood, and it like, no, this is their control drama doing their best to pull you out of who you are, when all they want is your energy. I hope that made sense. I hope that helped. So think about the words that you use and how you're saying them, and that every word out of your mouth is a prayer. And it's creating your reality. So how can you change your words to create the reality that you want? You're smart, you're kind, you're important. How do you use your words to create the reality that you want? So when you say something's hard, oh, that's really hard, that's the universe going, okay, I guess she wants it hard. Well, continue to make it hard. And this is going back into the group card tonight was releasing, purification, toxicity, letting go. Do we have everybody tonight?
Yes.
All right. Love you all. Let's do this again Wednesday night. Call me, text me, let me know if you have any questions. Love you.